What's up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Swanky Disc Golf. Today we are covering round 3 of World's absolute crazy round. We have a child prodigy emerging in the FPO world. We have some crazy movement on the MPO side. There's a lot to talk about today. We're gonna jump into it, but before we do, don't forget to subscribe. I mentioned we are posting a post-round recap every single day of World, so if you want to join us, be sure to subscribe. And we post videos every single week. Also, big shout out to our partner, Disc Golf Deals USA. Disc Golf Deals USA is an incredible disc golf retailer. They have an insane inventory, over 30,000 discs in stock at any given moment. They have great shipping. They're a US-based company. They have the best deals, best prices on the internet. And if you want to get 10% off your disc golf products, you can go to discgolfdealsusa.com/swankydiscgolf. You can help us out, you can help yourself out, and get some discounted discs at discgolfdealsusa.com/swankydiscgolf. Now, let's jump into it, everybody. This is the biggest storyline, I believe, coming from the FPO side. There's two really major storylines that we can talk about. First off, let's shed some light on an incredible young athlete out there tearing it up. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I do apologize. Lida. I've heard the commentator say it a couple different ways. It's either Lida or Lida. Letomaki. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but she shot 4 under. She's tied for first, 15 years old. She's 15 years old. She joined the PDGA in 2022, has played 35 career events, and has 21 career wins. Absolutely insane. I was wondering why she looked so familiar, and I realized the first time I saw her was in this kind of viral clip where she almost hits a spotter. I don't know if you've seen that before, but it just clicked for me recently. There's a very famous clip of somebody like almost just decking a spotter in the face with their disc, and they dodge out of they kind of matrix out of the way at the last second. That's her. Absolutely crazy.
No way.
Tied for first place is Owen Scoggins. Josiah was telling us there's a 29-year age difference between these two players tied for first place. That is absolutely insane. Can't wait to talk about that and get into some predictions for the rest of this tournament. But I'm going to round out and just update you guys. At third place, we have Henna Belamrus, 8 under. Silva Saarinen, 4th place at 6 under. Cat Merch at 2 under. We're starting to see some pretty major separation, and I feel like Reed and I we have Josiah joining us today, but Reed and I were talking about how really rounds 3 and 4 are huge. People are going to lose their tournaments on round 3 and 4, and I feel like that happened today. Round 3, people are starting to really slip out of reach from being able to even come in top 3, with Owen and Lida being tied for first at 10 under, and then you have 7th place is already at even. Crazy score differential here. The other big storyline in FPO, Kristin Tattar DNF'd after she finished her round. Kristen Lott DNF'd after she finished her round today. And it wasn't the worst round in the world. Obviously not a good round for Kristen Lott's standards. She shot 4 over par, which honestly pretty average for the day, maybe even a bit above average. Not up to her playing pace. She has not, as of this recording, come out with a statement or anything yet. What do you think about the FPO side, Josiah? What are your takeaways, your thoughts?
I mean, big takeaway, obviously, we've always said that if Kristin isn't in the field, it's just the wild, wild west. And
yeah,
now Kristin isn't in the field, and it's the wild, wild west, and it is fun to watch. And is it hard and a little sad to see Kristin not at her usual standard? She seems to be going through some stuff. Yeah, it is a little sad, but it is exciting to watch, at least how close it is up near the top. And it's not like, there's 3 or 4 people pulling away. It is difficult, like you said, for a lot of these players at this point to contend for the win or even for top 3. But that's just because I don't think the FPO can score as easily as the MPO is on these courses. Like we're seeing
Yeah.
some crazy high numbers from the MPO field. You're not seeing that from the FPO field. So even though right now after 3 rounds, it's like, oh, it's just -10. And what if tomorrow, Evelina shoots -9? Is that possible? Yes. Is it likely?
Yeah.
Not so much. And that's kind of what we're seeing, and that's, I think, what's making these courses really exciting for the FPO field. Is it's exciting to watch just because there's a lot of score separation on a lot of different holes, and you can look through. You're not like Owen Scoggins today triple bogeyed a hole, or yesterday or
Hole 7.
whatever it is, because I think at this point, like I'm pretty sure usually when I go to bed, FPO is teeing off, so it's a little weird for
That's
me.
how it feels.
Yeah, no, like actually, like when I usually go to bed, it's like I get a notification.
That's right, you're a couple
like,
hours there.
Yeah, it's like FPO's starting their rounds as I'm going to bed. But Owen Scoggins is triple bogeying holes out here, and she's still in first. So that means there's a lot of score separation in the FPO field on some of these holes, which means there is no guarantee if you're up 2-3 strokes that you're able to maintain that for the next hole. There is no guarantee. You're seeing 3 to 4 stroke swings on most holes at the top of the field. So it's really exciting to watch. I think tomorrow is going to be a huge factor, and to see who's actually going to step up and pull away. One of the best things about Worlds is these 5-round events versus 3 or 4 rounds. And so that's going to be super cool to see tomorrow on moving day, how the FPO field pulls away and kind of separates themselves. But it's super fun to see just some current rising stars, some new faces up near the top, and some veterans all at the top, all competing at the highest level. It's really fun to watch.
Absolutely. And it is sad to see Kristin go. I am curious to see what her kind of statement is going to be. She had a very emotional kind of interview after her first round or second round, and that was sort of the last update that we received. Hoping she's okay, hoping there's nothing major. It is interesting her dropping out. She finished her round, super respectable. She's obviously an incredible person and everyone loves her, but this is like a big mystery. She's known to be a pretty tough competitor and one to tough it out, so really hoping it's nothing major for Kristin. Up at the top, this 4-under from Lita was an over 1,000 rated round. And those are pretty darn sparse throughout the history of the FPO field. So this is really cool to see. And I think we're getting our first exposure to Lita because she's a European player. She's obviously super young as well. But this is why I love having Worlds over in Europe. We can see all of these prodigies, all of these new players who we haven't seen before, who have been popping off in Europe, but we just haven't been able to see them play. So this is really sweet, and I really hope to see this big battle between a 15-year-old and a 40-something-year-old. That is going to be super cool to see. I definitely don't think Henna or Silva are out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Anything can happen. We're going back to the Beast for round 4, which the Beast is known to be a little bit easier. We might see the scores be a little bit more similar, but it being a scoreable course, a more scoreable course, also means that people are going to risk it for certain things, especially when you're on the bubble, which this bubble is pretty sparse. I can't imagine anybody over par having a chance right now, and that is everyone except for the top 7 players. So I think maybe you could make an argument that Evelina is capable. Evelina is currently in 7th place at even par. I think she's maybe capable of shooting, like popping off and shooting 10 under, and all it takes is Lita or Own to shoot 1 over par or even or 1 under par, which they're completely capable of depending on the weather, depending on how well they're going to handle the pressure tomorrow. So I'd say top 7 right now are that's the race. Nobody else is in it. You never know what could happen, but the next 2 rounds are going to be absolutely wild, and we can't wait to see. Jumping over to the MPO side, we're coming off of what some people, Gannon Burr, called the greatest round of all time. Ezra Aderhold shooting 14 under on the Monster. And round 3, we were back at the Monster, so maybe a little bit of nerves down. And we actually really talked about this yesterday and kind of hit the nail on the head, saying Ezra is going to be in a spot where he really only needs to shoot 4 or 5 under to maintain the lead. That was sort of our prediction, and he did. He shot 4 under. We obviously didn't see another 14 under round, but Niklas Antila shot 8 under par. His consistency to me is almost as impressive as because his one round, both of Ezra Aderhold's rounds at the Monster and both of Niklas Antila's rounds at the Monster both equal the same score.
Yeah.
8 under and 10 under, 4 under and 14 under. His consistency on this course is almost just as impressive to me. And this is telling me that Ezra Aderhold's probably going to have this in the back of his mind, that he cannot just sit on cruise control and shoot sort of the average for the course, which I say average, probably above average, but shooting 4 or 5 under. That comfortable mark where you just feel good about your round is probably like 4 to 6 under at the Monster. The Beast, it's kind of a different story. But he can no longer kind of sit on cruise control because Niklas Antila is on fire right now. Aaron Gossage jumping up to make the lead card. I believe he'll be kicking off Sully Tipton via PDGA number because they're tied at 4th place. Gannon Buhr, 24 under in 3rd place. This is going to be a super tight race. And there's a couple other big moves. Why don't you tell us about those and what you thought of the MPO field at day 2 of the Monster?
Yeah. Big moves, like you mentioned, Aaron Gossage popping up there, and he'll take the lead card spot because they switched it to hot round is the tiebreaker.
Oh,
they switched that a couple years ago, so
that makes sense. I like that better.
Yeah, so it's no longer PDGA number.
A couple years. I thought it was PDGA number still.
No,
which is such a weird thing to do, anyways. But
it was weird to do that. So yeah, it's the most recent hot round of the previous round. It gets the tiebreaker. So Aaron will be on lead card. Sully's still playing phenomenal. You know, it's such a tight race at the top. And it almost begs the question, like we're seeing moves from some of these other people, like Simon Lizotte shooting the second hottest round here at the Monster with -9 and seemed to do it very casually as well. He knew what he was doing, and he was just breezing through some of these holes bogey free, which is very hard to do on this course. But I don't know if he's in contention. He's still 9 strokes back, and I feel like going into the final 2 rounds at the Beast, 9 strokes might be too much to overcome on some of these ones. So it's almost similar. I'm not saying they're out of it. You know, Adam Hammes clearly can shoot well at the Beast. Simon can shoot well at the Monster, so he can probably pull it off. We saw Chris Dickerson making moves up here as well. And a big thing to note is I'm going to talk about kind of a move in the opposite direction. Anthony Barella shot -1. And prior to this, he was at -16 over the first 2 rounds. And so this is a big move in the wrong direction for Anthony Barella. But we know that he's capable of shooting double digits at the Beast. So that's, again, easily putting him, if he shoots double digits, let's just say he shoots -10, that's 37. That means that Ezra Aderhold only has to shoot -4, -5 at the Beast for 2 rounds, and that would still hold on to all that entire group of people that isn't into the -20 yet. So that's why I almost feel like, even though there's some of these people shooting super hot rounds, I think they're all out of it. I think it's down to those top 5 players that are, Sully, Aaron Gossage, Gannon, Niklas, and Ezra Aderhold. I think one of those 5 is going to win, for sure. I think those are the only ones who have a shot at scoring well, and it's just going to be who could play the best 2 rounds over at the Beast over these last 2 days. And one of those 2 or one of those 5 are going to shoot double digits like hot both those days, and whoever does that is going to pull it off.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is, just like you said, it's even a smaller bubble than the FPO field, where I really think only the top 5 players right now have a shot. Adam Hammes, although it could be the same, because I think Adam Hammes, Simon Lizotte, Chris Dickerson are capable of doing something just magical, at the Beast. Especially Adam Hammes, Simon Lizotte with the distance, Chris Dickerson with the accuracy. They're totally capable of shooting like a 16 or something crazy like that. And you know that this is where the most fun disc golf happens. It's kind of the Paul Macbeth at WR Jackson those 2 years ago effect, where you're out of it, you're recklessly abandoned, you're going to absolutely send it, which is probably what Simon Lizotte did to jump 24 spaces and shoot 9 under par. And that's what Aaron Gossage did, going for eagle on 16, a 932-foot par 5, and hitting it, going for it, getting these rewards. And that's the thing, is a lot of people are doing that, and it's only going to pay off for a couple of them, but it produces some of the most exciting rounds ever. So I'm super excited to watch the players on the chase card tomorrow, because you got to think the top 4 guys right now, not cruise control, but they go into the round thinking, I have my game plan, I'm going to stick with it. If I stick with it, I can win this tournament. But those people, Sully Tipton, Adam Hammis, Simon Lizotte, Chris Dickerson, Calvin Heimberg, those guys are thinking, and Anthony Barella, they're all kind of tied at 17 under. They're thinking, I'm going to shoot 18 down tomorrow. I have to. So that's the goal. And I think maybe one of them is going to shoot like 16 or 17. I could easily see at least one of them shooting one of the coolest rounds we've ever seen.
I think, I don't know if I'd go high enough to say 16, but Anthony Barella is going to shoot 14 under tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt. He's going to shoot 14 under, and Ezra Aderhold's going to come out with an 8 under, and he's still going to have a lead. And like I said, it's still going to, is it possible? Yeah. But Niklas's consistency is just sneaking up there. So, I mean, he's shooting 10 under, 8 under, 7 under. If he just stays with that, like 8 to 9 under. I think Gannon Burr said before the whole tournament that it was going to be double digits at the Beast all 3 rounds, and then about 6 under at the Monster, and that would be the score to win, which puts it at about...
Yeah, that's what we thought, but the 2 at the top have combined for 18 under at the Monster.
That's fair, but
tough.
They did 18 under, but then they didn't do that well at the Beast. And so that's where I think Gannon, it's still that average of what Gannon thought was going to be happen is still accurate as far as total score. True. It's just coming out completely the wrong way he expected. If Niklas and Ezra Aderhold both shoot 9, 10 under, it's still about that 43, 44 that Gannon was predicting, which is crazy. But yeah, I definitely think one of those 5. Is it possible? Yes. But those like Calvin or Anthony Barella or Simon are going to have to put down a 14 or 15 under even to put themselves in contention. And the only reason they would be considered in contention is because people are going to go, well, it did 14 yesterday, and now it's the final round. He could do it again.
Did 14, and it's possible.
Yeah. And so once that possibility shows up, then it's you can put them in contention. But up until that point, I still think it's just a 5-horse race at the top.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it just shows you how absolutely brutal the competition is, because you see people down here with 15 under, 14 under. Like 5 under par per round is basically averaging a 1040 rated round every day. Yeah. And that is so insanely difficult, even at the professional, like highest level. These are the top 15 players at the World Championship averaging 1040 rounds every single day. And they are in 15th place, and they are 11 strokes off the lead. Yep. That is so crazy how tough it is this year at Worlds. Still think I'm really liking Niklas Antila right now. I feel like he's the real goal for a lot of these guys. Obviously, you want to be winning going into Sunday, but just being in a position to win on Sunday is going to give people like Niklas Antila specifically and Gannon Burr specifically such confidence. Yeah. If they're within 1 or 2 strokes of the lead going into Sunday, I think they're going in confident and hungry and ready to win. So if the leaderboard stays the same going into Sunday, we're going to have a crazy finish. It's going to be so awesome. Who do you think is going to win as of round 3 being over from MPO and from FPO?
Who do I think is going to win? On the FPO side, it's really hard on who I think is going to win and who I want is going to win. I honestly think that Own can pull it off. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think these last 2 rounds, the experience of being at the top so often and having won at the highest level is going to pay off in her favor. And I think she'll be able to hold off Lita and Henna and Silva to that regards. It would be really cool to see any of those other three win. However, none of them have won a world championship, at least in FPO. I know Owen has some FPO Masters world championships.
I think Lita has some FPO juniors. Not world championships, but European. Yeah.
Yes. So they have won at the highest level in competition, but this is the biggest stage that they've been on, and so it's going to be nice to see probably a new name regardless for the FPO world champion, and that's going to be super exciting. Yeah. However, I think Owen is going to pull it out. On MPO, I legitimately have no doubt that Gannon is going to win.
No doubt he does. I think low key the Vegas odds are still in it for Gannon.
Yeah, it's like I would not be making much to bet on Gannon. I think there's no chance that he doesn't pull out this win. I know he really wants this win, so I think he's put it in. And you've been watching him play, and I've watched Gannon play tournaments where it looks like he's playing poorly, and then the tournament ends and you're like, he's in second place, how did that happen? Or like he won by one stroke. And that's how I felt the last 3 days watching Gannon. Is it doesn't feel like he's playing at his best, and he's only 2 strokes behind. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And that's why I'm like, there's no doubt he's gonna go out, and I'm not saying that Niklas and Ezra couldn't beat him. It's just what's going to happen is Niklas has been sticking at that 8 to 10. Gannon's going to come out with a 12 or 13 in one of these 2 rounds, and then he's going to shoot 9 under the other round. That's what's going to happen, and he's going to get an extra 24 in 2 rounds, and Niklas is going to get like 18 over these 2 rounds. I think he's going to shoot like 8 and 10 is what's going to happen.
You're getting real specific here.
I'm telling you, and unfortunately, I think what's going to happen is Ezra's going to do one of these 2 rounds. He's going to shoot like 5 or 6, and then the other one he might get to 10. And so I just don't think that either of them are going to be able to compete with one of Gannon's crazy hot rounds. Like I mentioned, AB can do a super hot round. Gannon can do that too. And and so that's why I think that he's going to win. It's because I think he wants it, and he's won at this level clearly so many times. This is just the one tournament he's never won, and so I think he's going to do whatever it takes mentally to make sure that he comes home with it.
Yeah, he's been so comfortable seeming, and it's hard to tell. Like I think he said in one of his interviews yesterday when he shot 7 under, he was saying like, I feel pretty good about 7 under. And obviously Ezra doubled that, and so he just seemed kind of comfortable, and I think coming into round 4 and round 5 he can take it up a notch, especially out there with some of the more open holes over at the Beast. I think he's going to open up a little bit and be able to pull out a crazy round. He's putting pretty awesome so far. I think he's been in either upper 80s or 90% all tournament long. I really like Niklas too here.
Yeah.
I think the home turf is awesome, and Niklas obviously now has that like winning mentality. He knows what it is to win. He's super competitive, and I think he's gonna feel that home field advantage, especially the final day.
Yeah,
I was reading on
that's a good point.
Ulti World's article saying that there could be up to 10,000 people on the final day. They're sold out. Crazy. I mentioned in the first episode, this is being broadcast through Finnish national television. It's like their most popular public broadcasting network, I believe. I can't remember what it's called, but they said it reaches like 90% of Finnish people every year.
No way.
It's a really popular, local TV channel for them. And so I think he's going to feel that home field advantage. Ezra, though, also just won very recently. He has been in the game for a long time, and he's been so close, and I feel like that genuinely does happen. When somebody wins their first event, it's very common to see them come back next year, come back a few events later, and either win or stay up in the top 5 way more consistently, because they just have that pressure off their backs. They have that experience, that feeling of knowing I've won a tournament, I know what I'm doing here, I'm not going to cave to the pressure. And that's where when we talk about the FPO side and Owen Scoggins, I feel like she has a very good chance. It will be tough, though. when people get wind of this child prodigy from Finland, there's going to be a ton of people out there supporting Lita in the FPO field. But that could also add to the pressure. And obviously, she's insane. Out of 30 events, she's won 20 in her lifetime. That is absolutely wild stuff. So she knows what it's like to win, but I don't know if she knows exactly what it's like to be on a lead card Sunday in front of a ton of cameras, a ton of spectators, and that pressure of people chasing you down, the best players in the world chasing you down. Maybe she's going to do great, though, and it's going to be awesome. Either way, I think that's awesome, but I think I give the edge to the savvy vet, Owen Scoggins, who's also just a super fun personality, and she never seems like she gets nervous, which is probably just the outside looking in. But yeah, I think my money might be on Owen, but I would be happy to lose that bet. I'd be happy to lose that bet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, same over. I mean, with the top 8 players in the MPO field, I feel like I'm not going to be disappointed if somebody there pops off and wins, or if Ezra Haderhold just holds out to the end. I think that would be super cool. But I feel like Gannon still low-key has the Vegas favorites. He's just shooting super consistent, seems super casual out there. He just needs to put together one of his pop-off rounds, one of his Gannon Burr 14 or 15 under rounds, and he's going to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, super exciting stuff. Let us know who you guys think is going to win in the comments below. Who's going to win MPO? Who's going to win FPO? We still got a couple rounds left. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay swanky.
Stay swanky.